suns of Xylos cast strange shadows over a world scarred by endless conflict. Once crystalline forests glowed with life. Now smoke and metal taint the wind, and shattered forests mark the land. For generations, humans and Krillax have fought here. Arya, a medic, arrived with hope, now as distant as her home. Yet Arya finds solace in small wonders, and believes Xylos is worth saving, even when the world screams otherwise. In the silence between battles, she listens for hope. On Xylos, even the smallest act can echo across the stars. Arya was not a soldier. Her weapon was compassion, her mission to save lives, no matter whose. She saw the war as the true monster, and all its fighters as victims. Her oath was to life itself, even the enemy. The war demanded she see the Krillax as a faceless swarm, but she refused. Her heart would not let her hate. She treated every patient with the same dedication, human or Krillax. Her oath was her rebellion, even if she had to walk that path alone. One twilight, a scout drone spotted something unusual in the neutral zone. A massive, unmoving life form. Captain Ava dismissed it as a rock, but Arya saw the truth. It was a shadow cat, the legendary apex predator of Xylos. Revered by both humans and Krillax, the shadow cat was rarely seen and never harmed. To find one wounded was unthinkable. Arya studied the footage. The creature's starless fur shimmered, its 6 legs tucked beneath a massive body. A dark stain spread on its side. A deep wound. Its amber eyes, wide with pain, met the camera's gaze. The shadow cat was dying, alone in no man's land. The war had claimed another innocent victim. Arya felt a profound sadness. This majestic creature was suffering for a conflict it never chose. The shadow cat was a symbol of Xylos itself, untamed, beautiful, and now broken. Both sides claimed to fight for the planet, yet here was its spirit, bleeding and forgotten. Arya knew this was wrong. The war's true cost was written in wounds like these. She could not look away. The shadow cat's suffering demanded more than pity. It demanded action. In that moment, Arya's purpose crystallized. She would not let the war destroy what made Xylos sacred. The fate of the shadow cat became her own, and with it, the hope for something better. Arya knew what she had to do, help the shadow cat, no matter the risk. She pleaded with Captain Ava, but he refused. That's the neutral zone, it's a death trap. Arya's resolve was unshakable. My oath is to help those in need. That night, she packed her medkit and slipped out under the twin dusk. Fear gnawed at her, but the memory of the shadow cat's eyes gave her strength. Guided by hope, not orders, Arya pressed on. Sometimes the bravest act is simply to care. Arya reached the canyon as the lavender sun set, bathing the world in orange glow. The shadow cat was immense, its breathing ragged, eyes wary and pained. Arya approached slowly, hands raised in peace. I'm here to help, she whispered. The beast watched, tense but not attacking. She set down her medkit, moving with deliberate care. As she prepared a sedative, a chill ran down her spine. She was being watched. Scanning the canyon rim, she spotted them. Krillax, a dozen strong energy rifles aimed at her. Her blood ran cold. She was trapped between predator and enemy patrol. The Krillax didn't fire. They simply watched, silent and still. Arya's mind raced. Run and be shot, freeze and be captured, or continue her mission. She chose to focus on the wounded creature before her. The rifles at her back became background noise. Her purpose was clear: heal, not harm. The canyon was silent, tension thick as she knelt beside the shadow cat. The Krillax waited, their intentions unreadable. Arya's heart pounded, but her hands were steady. She would not let fear dictate her actions. In that moment, she trusted her oath more than her instincts. The world held its breath. Arya's next move would decide more than just her fate. Compassion, not conflict, would guide her. And the eyes in the shadows watched, waiting to see what she would do. Arya turned her back on the Krillax, trusting her purpose. She filled the injector with sedative, hands steady despite the danger. "This will help," she whispered, stepping closer to the shadow cat. The beast growled weakly but allowed her touch. She injected the sedative. The creature shuddered, then drifted into sleep. Arya quickly assessed the wound, a deep gash from shrapnel. She cleaned and closed it with gentle efficiency, speaking softly all the while. The Krillax watched from above, witnessing her care for their sacred Cathar. They saw her treat the creature with reverence, not violence. Slowly, the barrels of their rifles lowered. Something shifted in the silent watchers. Arya's compassion was undeniable, her vulnerability profound. She finished her work, exhaustion and relief mingling in her chest. The canyon, once a place of danger, became a sanctuary of healing. The Krillax saw a human honor their great spirit. In that moment, the boundaries of war began to blur. A new understanding was taking root. Zylar, the Krillax patrol leader, watched the human medic with growing confusion. His orders were clear: engage any human in the neutral zone, yet he could not give the order to fire. This human was showing reverence for the Cathar, their most sacred creature. Through silent clicks, he told his squad, "Hold position, observe." The Krillax, bred for battle, were rooted in the natural world of Xylos. To harm the Cathar was taboo. To help one, an act of spiritual significance. And here was a human performing that act. Arya finished her work and sat quietly by the sleeping beast, her sadness and empathy clear. She was not a conqueror, but a healer mourning the world's pain. Zylar had never seen such kindness from a human. It transcended war, speaking a language older than conflict. A new message rippled through the patrol. The human is not a threat. She honors the Great Spirit. Consensus formed. This human was different. The foundation of hatred began to crack. The Krillax saw that humans too could revere life. In the canyon, the enemy became something more. Arya's act was a bridge, not a weapon. The war's narrative shifted, if only for a moment. The possibility of peace flickered in the silence. Zylar knew what he'd witnessed would change everything. Sometimes a single act of compassion can rewrite the story of a world. As dawn broke, the Shadowcat awoke, amber eyes meeting Arya's with gratitude. It purred, a deep, resonant sound of thanks, then rose and vanished into the canyon's shadows. On the cliffs, Zylar signaled his warriors. One by one, the Krillax lowered their rifles and placed them on the ground, a gesture of peace. Arya saw the movement, understanding its intent. She stood, raising an open hand in acknowledgement. For a long moment, human and Krillax shared the canyon's silence. The war was not over, but something had changed. Compassion had broken through hatred. Zylar knew he would report this to his hive elders. He would tell them of the human who healed the Cathar. Perhaps, he thought, there was another way. A way that began with understanding, not violence. In that canyon, a new possibility was born. The first fragile bridge between enemies had been built. Arya's act would echo far beyond the canyon walls. Sometimes peace begins with a single quiet act, and hope rises with the dawn. The story of the medic and the Shadowcat spread quickly. Zylar's report to the Krillax elders was met with disbelief, but his patrol's testimony was undeniable. On the human side, Captain Ava received a message. Not a threat, but a request to talk. For the first time in generations, a ceasefire was agreed upon. The meeting took place in the canyon where Arya had shown compassion. Arya, no diplomat, became an ambassador, respected by both sides. She showed that humanity was defined by empathy, not weapons. The Krillak's revealed their war was driven by fear of losing their sacred world. Arya's actions proved humans can be protectors, not just invaders. Peace talks were difficult, but a foundation was laid. The shared reverence for Xylos, symbolized by the Shadow Cat, became common ground. Together they began to heal the planet they had scarred. The war ended not with victory, but with a quiet act of compassion. Arya taught both sides that bridges are built with understanding and respect, and that is a power greater than any army in the galaxy.